Hi everybody and welcome. I hope you tried the exercises. If you did, some of them can be a little tricky, so let's walk through the solutions one by one. First of all, let's use the help function to find out what these functions do. We have to find out what they do, what the output is, and what the input is. We can use the help function associated with insert function in order to learn a bit more about the function. If we want to find out exactly how to use the function, we can go to Google to find out more. So let's get started with floor. As we can see, floor rounds a number down to the nearest multiple of significance. The output is a number, and the input is a number as well as a significance. So for example, if I want to round something down to the nearest whole number, then I have to use a significance of 0. Next we have AND. AND has two or more conditions. The function checks whether all of the values are true. If all of the values are true, if all of the logicals are true, I should say, then it returns true as an output. If at least one of the logicals is false, then it returns false as an output. Next we have COUNTIF. COUNTIF counts the number of cells within a range that meet the given condition. So as input we have a range of values, a range of cells, and as the second input we have the criteria. If you want to learn more how to use this function, you have to Google it. Or you could check out my example video in the section about controlling input. Here you can see this function used in action. Coming up next, we have the workday function. The workday finds the number of workdays before or after a certain date. After that, we have the function left. This is a text function. Left takes the leftmost characters of a text. It returns a specified number of characters from the start of a text string. Finally, we have the cosine function. The cosine function is just like the function we learned in high school, returns the cosine of an angle. The input is an angle and the output is a ratio. Next exercise. So let's calculate the average grade. We're just going to use the average function like so. The input is a range and the output is a percentage score. We want to find the second largest score. We didn't cover this in the lesson, so if you solved it, you would have had to look it up yourself. I just type in Google Excel get second largest value and very easily I find a valuable result. I found out that I have to use the large function. How does the large work? First there's a range as input and a value k, where it's the k of largest value. So I'm going to open the function. The first input is this range, and I want to set k to be 2 because I want the second largest value. 0.8. Let's change the formatting to percentage. Okay, now I'm going to use a function to look up how often Labana was absent. As a first input, I want to enter the lookup value, that's Labanga. And then I pick the table array, that's the table I'm looking it up. And the column index in this case, that's column number 3. I want an exact result, so I'm going to put false as the last value. 0 means false, by the way. And that's the number of times she was present, but I actually want the number of times she was absent. I'm going to assume that there were 10 lessons in total, so I'm going to do 10 minus the result of the VLOOKUP. Okay, next I'm going to use a nested function. I'm going to combine the if function with the and function. So first of all, let me show you how not to do it. I'm going to say if the grade is larger than 60%, then I'm going to write passed. Otherwise, I'm going to write failed. So this works, but doesn't take into account the number of sessions in which the students were present. I'm going to continue with this if statement, but instead of having if C23 is larger than 0.6, I'm going to add an and around it. So finally, I'm going to say if both C23 is bigger than 6 and D23 is larger than 7, in that case, the output will be passed. In all other cases, the output will be failed. So let's see if this works. Yep, it seems to work. Okay, next. Which cells use the following cells as input? I'm going to use trace precedence for this. I mean trace dependence. As you can see, there are 3 dependents. First of all, we have a value in I34, which uses this cell value. There is also a dependent in this hidden column. Thanks to the arrow, we could find it very easily. And there is a dependent on another sheet, which we can tell by this symbol. In order to follow this link, we can simply double-click on the line to open the GoTo dialog. So, thanks for watching. Remember, there are a lot of other functions out there. There's a lot of information about all of them to be found online. So just search for the function using Google or Bing or Yahoo or whatever your favorite search engine is, and you will easily be able to find all sorts of documentation on these functions. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.